Hello, everyone. I'm just hopping on here a little bit early. We have hundreds of you that are registered today. And so I wanted to get on here early to make sure that A, you can see me, B, that you can hear me, and then we're able and ready to get going. So we're just before 12 o'clock now. I'm going to give it the first couple of minutes for people to actually come on into the room to say hello, to confirm that you can see me before we actually start. So as you guys are all rolling into the room, which I can see that you are doing now, if you can just look on your right, there is a little chat bar and you can just write down there, hi, I can hear you and I can see you. Because those are actually the most exciting things that a webinar host could ever read or hear, is that you can see and hear me. All right. So I'm just waiting on my assistant coming in and making sure that she can see and hear me. We have about a 20-second delay, which typically happens with the webinars. But again, as you guys are coming in, if you can please just write in the chat that you can hear me and see me. If not, I'll log out, reboot, and we'll get connected that way. Hi, Sandra. Okay, Sandra, can you hear me and you can see me? Because not only do we want you to obviously be able to have those two things happening, but I actually am going to be, hi, Anna, I'm actually going to be sharing with you guys a PowerPoint and my assistant can hear me and see me. So we are good. We are good. So like I said, we have a couple hundred women that are on with us today learning and listening all about your hormones, which makes me very happy because it is such a, hi Sandy, it is such a massive topic. It is a very complicated topic, and it's one that I find we often just kind of sweep under the rug because I think that it feels so complicated and so overwhelming. Or on the flip side of it, we've yet to be in a situation or a position where it has had a lot of relevance in our life. Or maybe you haven't really been educated on it. When something has felt off or gone wrong with your body, and you've gone to your doctor, you've talked to somebody else about it, they kind of just brush it off as, hey, this is normal, don't worry about it, let's just give it time. Meanwhile, that time that you are giving it, you are feeling worse and worse as time is going on. So today is really an opportunity to lay the groundwork for you to have a deeper level of understanding of what's going on in your body. I'm also really hoping that you take away some aha moments and some golden nuggets of information that maybe never occurred to you before, or you have heard before in the past, but for whatever reason, stopped integrating it, or you just kind of forgot that you already knew this information. So this might either be a lot of new stuff for you today, or it'll be a lot of familiar conversation that is going to help to redirect you and to get you back on your path for feeling better in your body. Okay, so I'm just going to pop over into the room here and come back out. So I'm just going to do a little housekeeping with you guys. So a couple things. First off is make sure you have everything else closed in your browser so that you have the strongest connection possible. If there's any issues and for some reason my face gets frozen in a weird position or you lose sound, whatever it may be, don't freak out. You're just going to refresh your page. If that doesn't work, you go out and just sign back in. The whole thing is recorded, and I promise you when the recording gets delivered to you, it is free of any blemishes and any issues, but we are dealing with, a signal from here to a satellite in the universe and all the way back. So sometimes things happen. Try not to let your hormones get really stressed about it. The other thing is that there is a 20-second delay. So I may kind of pose a question out to you guys, and I'll then have a period of open space where you may not hear me. That is because we have to wait on that pause in order for you guys to get back to me. So this is how the flow is going to work today. I'm doing this little intro with you now. I'm going to talk for a couple of minutes, and then I'm actually going to move into a slideshow that I put together for you guys, so that sometimes we all learn differently. Some of us learn through conversation, through hearing about it. Others learn visually by looking at it. I am a blended learner and teacher, so it's the combination of being able to see it from both perspectives. Normally when I do webinars, I do this. I just talk, but I've been finding in the past that when I add in the graphics, there's just a little bit more stickiness to the information. So that's what we're going to flow through today. And then around 12:45, 12:50, I'm going to open up the floor for questions. So my assistant Vanessa is on. She'll be able to see your questions that you have on the sidebar while I'm actually in my flow and talking to you. I won't be actually stopping and answering questions in the moment. So I'm going to ask that you have a notebook that is next to you. You jot down the things that are really relevant to you, the things that you maybe don't understand. And then when we get to the end, we'll have lots of time to be able to go through a question and answer period. Sound good? All right, awesome. So the reason that I love teaching this subject so much, that I'm so passionate about explaining to women really what's going on in your endocrine system, is because this is honestly the missing link for so many of us in our quest to feel better. And I'm talking about that in regards to weight loss, in regards to reduced inflammation, in healing your digestive system, in balancing out your skin problems, in balancing out issues with losing hair, brittle nails, your mood, your anxiety, depression. It is the root of what is going on with your thyroid, your adrenal health, your menstrual cycle. There is so much that's happening in our female bodies on a daily basis. And when you take a look at, there's so many differences between men and women. There are also a lot of similarities. But when we're talking about our hormones, a man's body moves through a 24-hour cycle. Everything that they're going through happens through in that one day, and then the next day, and so on and so forth. As a woman, your cycle is anywhere on average between 24 and 35 days long, okay? You have 4 very distinct phases that your body is moving through every single month. And that's on a reproductive level. But your reproductive hormones aren't just happening in the areas of your ovaries, your fallopian tubes, your uterus, your vagina, that area of your body. All of that is actually coming from a signal that's happening in that part of the brain. Like, this is your HPA axis. It's your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. So you have glands in your body that are talking and communicating with the biggest talkers in your body, which are your hormones. Your hormones are chemical messengers. They are literally writing the story of how much energy you're going to have, how much lean muscle you're going to build, how you're going to recover from your workouts, how your sleep is going to be, what your sex drive is going to be, your cycles, the health and vibrancy of your mood, your skin, your hair, everything that your body is producing. This whole conversation is happening 24/7 behind the scenes in your body. The physiology of a woman compared to a man is very, very different. Obviously, it's much easier to talk to you from a female perspective because I have all the lady bits. I am a woman. That being said, I spend a lot of time with my husband and now with my son, educating them on the things that they can be doing to balance their bodies as well. So a lot of what we're talking about today is going to be family-wide. Now, I'm going to ask you as mom, as, the woman in the relationship, or, maybe just kind of the cheerleader at work with your coworkers, whatever it may be. I'm going to ask you to really pay attention, and I'm going to ask you to be really self-centered today and focus this 100% on you. Because as you're taking in the information, I know you're going to be thinking about your daughter, your sister, your mother, your girlfriend, your coworker, whoever it may be, and how this information would really benefit them. And that's great, and I want you to share this later. But for right now, I need you to completely focus 100% on yourself. I want you, as you take this information in, to interpret it and let it resonate, or let it kind of slide off with what's going on in your current body now. That is my goal, and that is my wish for you. So it was really interesting as I was sitting here and I was preparing and getting ready to come on today, and I was doing a little post on Instagram. And, I don't believe in irony. I believe in the divinity of the universe, and I believe in things being put in front of you for your attention, your awareness at certain times for very specific reasons. And so as I was scrolling through on Instagram and I was posting this, there was an actress who I follow whose post came up. And I'm not going to mention who because I do really like the actress. But what really bothered me, and I'm going to pull up her thing here so I can read it. What really bothered me is that in this, she posted something that says this: life is full of adventures, big and small. Having a plan in place that includes family planning and birth control helps me feel better prepared to stay focused on my priorities. Happy to be an ambassador for her life, her adventures. So I was like, interesting. What is that? Is this like a fertility awareness method thing? Because I'm totally down for that. I click on this social media handle and it brings me to an educational campaign by Merck, the largest pharmaceutical company aside from Pfizer and GSK, GlaxoSmithKline. And this is all about encouraging women to plan for life's adventures and learn about her birth control options. So Coles Notes versions, this is about giving you the tiniest, ridiculous amount of information about your body, because I've gone on and looked through this, and connecting you to whether it's the birth control pill, which type of pill you can benefit from, different IUDs, Depo-Provera, all of the different products that they create. And they are using this. If you go onto their actual website, they've done a lead page. Like, their marketing is really smart behind this. They've done this whole thing of like savvy adventures to you and talking about how as a woman, you want to be able to travel without, the inconvenience of bleeding in your menstrual cycle. You want to be able to date and not have to worry about getting pregnant. You want to make the most out of your life adventure. Asking you questions like, where are you headed? Like, this is the kind of shit that is being normalized, that is disempowering us as women in our bodies. This is what's setting up our young girls for years of estrogen dominance ahead of them, for cysts, for fibroids, for irregular menstrual cycles. When you go on a chemical form of birth control, you have no reproductive communication happening now. You actually don't have a period. So when you bleed every month when you're taking the pill, you actually aren't producing that blood on your own. The chemicals within the pill are creating the uterine lining to shed. Your body actually has nothing to do with it at that point. And so when women have situations like having breakthrough bleeding, and I'm going to talk about this and sharing my story with you and how I didn't even realize I was cultivating the Hormone Project almost 20 years ago. But this is what is huge. This is what bothers me so much, is we are actually not educating ourselves, because the information, it's out there, but it's just not accessible. There's not actresses that are out there talking about this. There's not commercials when you're watching your favorite show that are talking to you about fertility awareness method. We're educated on our female body system to think two things. Okay, you only need to know what you know not to get pregnant. And then you only need to know what you need to know when you want to get pregnant. And then you only need to know what you need to know after you've been pregnant and bring your body back into balance. And majority of the information that's out there is utter garbage. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to start to flow right into the slideshow. And yes, Amy, how many of us would have loved to have had this information when we were teens? I will tell you, when I was in high school, one of the very first, I've been reading this kind of information forever and a day. And when I got first connected to Louise Hay, when I was about 15, her book, You Can Heal Your Life, it brought me to Dr. Christian Northrup, who wrote Women's Wisdoms, Women's Bodies. And I read this book at the age of 16 years old, and I was blown away. I was like, how amazing are our female bodies? This is so cool. And at the same time, none of my girlfriends knew this stuff. And so gym class in the change room, I'd be giving essentially like sex ed things, saying, you know, that stuff we just learned in health class today about this, that, and the other? Total BS. This is actually what you want to know. And my girlfriends, and some of you are on today, and, you know, we're still friends from high school, can attest to like, oh yeah, it was hilarious actually sitting there and being taught that, but this is the info we needed to know. So here we go. I'm going to screen share. I've got my assistant on who's going to send me a message to let me know that you guys are actually able to see this. We all need to up-level our current knowledge and understanding of our human being bodies so that we can optimize the person we are in every aspect of our life, free from disease, imbalance, inflammation, pain, confusion, and struggle. We all deserve to feel and function at our very best. Nothing truer could be said about that. And, you know, This is why I do what I do and why I wake up every single day. So who am I? For those of you that just saw this and thought hormones free, awesome, I'm in, sign me up. My name's Jen Pike. I am a mother, a wife, and a very passionate entrepreneur. I specialize in hormonal health, working with overwhelmed women and mamas who are ready to unapologetically put themselves first. Their minds, their bodies, their hormones, habits, and souls, so they can feel the person they want to be. This is huge so that you can feel the person that you want to be, not look like the person that you want to be, not even be the person you want to be in the beginning. You got to feel your way through it first. And this is what I want you to get more in touch with, are your signs and your symptoms. I'm the best-selling author of The Simplicity Project and The Simplicity Kitchen. I've created a bunch of different DVDs and online programs. The Simplicity Project is a 6-week foundational course. The Hormone Project is my baby. And this is really, for me, hold on, Vanessa's asking me, is it working? Let me pop back out of here again, ladies. Okay, I'm feeling like everybody is seeing it. Give me 1 second. The slides are not switching. Hold on, guys. Anna sees it. Are the slides switching? Okay. So yes, Vanessa's saying carry on. Thanks, guys. You're just part of the convo between her and I. Okay. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, medical exercise, all these things. Let's move on to the next slide. Here's what I want you to know. You guys are all an author. So in every moment of every day, your body is writing a story. It's giving you a preview and asking for your feedback along the way. My question to you is, are you creating the time and the space to actually listen? A lot of us, we're just interested in the Coles Notes version. So we hear something, we don't really take the time. We're like, yeah, I don't have time for this right now. I'll vary it with an Advil. I'll take something today. I'll do better tomorrow. I'm going to have that extra glass of wine tonight. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'll get on track with it tomorrow. It's only a little gluten today. I'm going to get back on track tomorrow. Are you having a difficult time understanding the story that's being communicated by your body? So you feel the symptoms. You know when you wake up, something is off. You know when you look in the mirror. You know when you go to put your clothes on. You know in the way that you show up at work, in your relationship. You know how your spouse and your kids get the crappy leftover parts of you because you are just surviving in your days. But you don't understand why this is happening and what's going on. Do you feel like if you could only interpret what was being told within the lines of the book, your body, that you could write a whole new chapter of health and healing? And this is where I come in. This is where I am an interpretive decoder of your body health story. I help you to understand the languaging that's going on so that once you get it, this is not about following a diet. This is not about killing yourself in the gym. This is not about being linear and, never straying offside. This is about actually learning how your body functions, feels, and moves day to day. Because once you have the knowledge and the information, you're now better able to respond, to set a plan in motion. And on the days where you feel like you just don't have it in you, you remind yourself of what's going on behind the scenes and why you owe it to you, not to anyone else, why you owe it to you to show up to your health every single day. This is my personal story with hormone struggle. I was on the birth control pill for 7 years. Typical scenario, 15 years old. I had a boyfriend. My family doctor thought it would be a good idea for me to go on the pill just in case. So my mom and I, that's what you do. I went on the pill. I was fine for a while until I wasn't. I started to have breakthrough bleeding, went back to the doctor. They switched me to a different pill. Within a couple weeks, my moods were crazy. I felt crazy. I was so emotional. My boobs grew like an entire size. I put a little bit of weight on. He switched me to another pill. That pill was okay with me for about a year. Then I had the same thing happen again. And after 7 years, at this time, I was enrolled in school to become a holistic nutritionist. And my first day in endocrinology, learning about my hormonal system, I and another girlfriend of mine, Susan Baker, who is a huge trailblazer in the holistic community, we were in class together and we looked at one another and we were like, what in the hell have we been putting in our bodies for so long? And we made a pact to actually come off the pill. And we did, and we detoxed together our bodies coming off of the pill. Simultaneously with that, I had been applying a topical antibiotic to my skin for nearly a decade. Pausing in here, Vanessa's letting me know that the slides aren't actually moving. I'm going to send you guys the whole slideshow so that you can actually understand what I'm talking about and it'll make sense. But for now, just stay attuned with your ears to me. So I was modeling and I would get a couple breakouts here and there and they said, let's send you to a great dermatologist. And so I went to the dermatologist and they said, we have this cream, super easy. You're going to put it on once in the morning and once at night. And I did, and it was great. And I did this for about 10 years until I actually one day was looking at the bottle and read 2% clindamycin. And I was like, what the heck? That's an antibiotic. I had been applying oral or topically on my skin twice a day for 10 years, an antibiotic. Unbelievable. I also went through a period of time when I was running my own business. I had a studio. I had 26 staff. I was teaching up to 20 classes a week. I had 2 very young children. My son was still nursing when I opened the studio. My level of stress was unbelievable. I was working late into the evening. I was skipping meals. I was inconsistent with my self-care. I was doing excessive exercise because A, it was part of my business that I was running, and B, the exercise was for me the only thing where I felt connected to myself. So I did more. I ended up actually contributing to a short-term phase of having hyperthyroidism, an overactive thyroid in myself. It took me about 3 months to actually realize what was going on in my body. I couldn't put weight on. I was really anxious. My sleep patterns were kind of askew. I just wasn't feeling myself. Luckily for me, I do regular blood working. So I knew what my blood work was going into this period of time not feeling well. And then I knew what to do coming out of it. Over the course of 6 months, I healed my hyperthyroidism. I reestablished a healthy baseline within my full hormone thyroid panel. I healed those imbalances. I created more stable blood sugar. I healed my own adrenal fatigue. I healed my acne, which had been plaguing me for 7 years since the birth of my son. He put me into a very androgenic state. I restored my sleep, my self-care. I restored my sex drive, and now I teach other women how to do the same. So this is what has gotten me to this point of every single day showing up to help you understand what's going on in your body, to know the difference between what is normal and what is not, what is common, but what is not normal. So having symptoms like extreme PMS, breast tenderness, hormonal headaches, acne, whatever it may be, you can talk to lots of different people who will say, yeah, I have that too. Totally common. It might be common, but that does not mean that these symptoms are normal. And that's what we're going to get deeper into. Your gut is really the root and the foundation of everything that's happening in your body. So when we have any imbalance in our digestive system, whether it's constipation, it's, gut rot, it's feeling indigestion, it's having acid reflux, maybe you've been diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, maybe you have Crohn's, colitis, whatever the issue may be, that is really the root of where we need to begin to take the stress and the load off of your body. When we can heal the digestive issues, the blood sugar balancing becomes a whole lot easier. And when we're balancing your blood sugar, it means that we are stabilizing your insulin. When insulin is your fat storing hormone. So when your blood sugar levels are all out of whack and all over the place, your insulin levels aren't regulated, or you become resistant to insulin, meaning that your body and your cells are no longer uptaking it. It's staying circulating, which is going to contribute to a ton of excess weight, and a kind of weight where you feel fluffy and puffy and like you could just stick a pin in yourself and deflate. That's a big sign that that's happening behind the scenes. Leptin resistance. This is a huge one that doesn't get talked about enough. Leptin is that satiating hormone that if it doesn't get turned on by appropriate, healthy, balanced eating and rest and recovery, it stays at that level where you're never satisfied. You're always going after more food. You always have more cravings. You eat something that appears to be healthy, and then you always need to have that little treat, that little something after. So your appetite increases. Through this whole period, if you have the imbalance in your gut, if you've got the blood sugar instability, your hunger hormones are already out of whack, you probably aren't consuming the healthiest of foods all the time. You're probably choosing something quick and easy and stimulating and sugary, which is increasing your exposure to chemicals and processed foods and toxicity, which is stored in our fat cells. And this as a woman is a really dangerous place to get our bodies into, because it's also where not only are we storing fat, but we're also manufacturing more hormones. And this is where the body has a really difficult time being able to manage and to detoxify excess chemical forms of estrogen that come in our system. So that's in the way of your body care products, your makeup, your plastics, your deodorant, different environmental toxins as well too. Even things like using, like chemical cleaners in your house, spraying stuff down with Windex, using the chemical countertop cleaners, Febreze, the plugins, all of that stuff contributing towards estrogen dominance. Now, estrogen dominance can happen in two ways, and it typically does. The first way is that when we actually test in your body and see the levels of estrogen that you have in ratio to your progesterone, if they are way out of whack and you have way more estrogen than you do progesterone, you have phase 1 estrogen dominance. If you have that, but you also have a really heavy clogged up liver, you're constipated and the bowels aren't moving, this is now where it becomes more serious. The liver's where you're metabolizing a lot of your key hormones, big one being estrogen, and the bowels are how then we take these detoxified chemical forms of estrogen that we've moved out of the cells via the liver, through the body and into the bowels. If you're backed up and these toxins make their way down into your bowels and your body's like, oh, hey there, thanks for coming out. We have about a 3 to 5 day wait for poop to actually move through our body. I'm just going to need you to sit tight and take a number. Those toxins are like, whatever, I'm free now. I'm out of this fat cell. I'm going to go back and retox your body. And now we start to have symptoms of estrogen dominance come about. Fibroids, cysts in the ovaries as well as the breast tissue, acne, polycystic ovarian syndrome, irregular menstrual cycles, heavy menstrual cycles, extreme fatigue, pain in your menstrual cycles, exacerbated PMS, hair loss, insomnia, anxiety. All of these different issues are starting to go on. Some women, how their menstrual dysbiosis will show up is that they actually no longer get a period anymore. That or that HPA axis that I was talking about, that hypothalamic pituitary adrenal connection, this is like your body's stress team. It actually gets so overwhelmed and bombarded, the communication starts to shut down. And when your body's under a tremendous amount of stress, your body knows that providing you a period and allowing you to lose weight are not two survival mechanisms that it is interested in. If you aren't in a position where you're healthy enough and able to take care of the body that you have right now, your body is not going to allow you to recreate or procreate life in a really vulnerable situation. So one of the first things it'll do is it'll say, I know you're supposed to have this cycle. Intrinsically, I can feel it, but I can't actually shed and release and let anything else go because I got to try and hold you together here. This whole system happening behind the scenes is what dramatically impacts your adrenals. We talk all the time about thyroid. Thyroid is out there, everybody's talking about it. But what most people don't understand is that your thyroid becomes exhausted and starts to show signs of stress because your adrenals have been exhausted for years, because the rest of your body has been in survival mode for years. And we've been hearing the signs, the symptoms. We've been feeling the overwhelm. Our sleep's been off. We've been rushing from one event to the next. We haven't been eating the best food choices. We've been trying all the different diets, exercising too much, not exercising at all, taking poor supplements, not taking any. I mean, the list goes on and on. But this chronic adrenal fatigue, I guarantee you, it will lead to some form of thyroiditis, which is inflammation of the thyroid. How it shows up all depends on your body. Some people might have an overactive thyroid. Some people might have an underactive thyroid. Some bodies may work behind the scenes and actually produce an autoimmune condition involving the thyroid, which is Hashimoto's. All of these things will lead to weight gain, insomnia, depression, anxiety, and inflammation is at the root of this, and it's stoking and igniting it all. So one of the first things that I do with my clients, and this is one of the root-based foundations within the Hormone Project, is healing your digestion, your inflammation. So removing any of the irritation from your food, plus physical and mental irritants as well too. Replacing and introducing new healing foods to your body, repairing your gut, not just by probiotics, which are important, but eating prebiotic foods, getting in things like L-glutamine, collagen, bone broth, vitamin D. These are really important in helping to repair the breaking down that's happened in the lining of the stomach and rebuilding. This is where patients have to come to the forefront. Staying committed on a daily basis, I'm telling you that when you're healing your body, it is the small, consistent things that you do every day, instead of how so many of us think about it, where it's like, I'm going to be clean 80% of the time, and then I'm going to have cheat time 20% of the time. Or I'm going to do really good for my body Monday through Thursday, but Friday through Sunday, that's my weekend, it's my time. When you have a lot of inflammation that's going on in your body, taking that approach and having that mentality, it is like you are injuring your body every single time that you do that. So when I have women who come to me who are like, I can't lose weight, I can't drop a pound, I'm putting more weight on, we talk about the obvious things of like, what are you actually nourishing your body with from a food perspective? Are you hydrated? How are you moving? Are you moving too much? Are you not moving at all? What's going on mentally and emotionally? Like, what are you really holding on to right now? And then start to help to put a plan together that is turning on efficient enzymes that are going to influence those detoxification pathways, turning off the prostaglandins in your body that are promoting the inflammation, regulating hormone metabolism, promoting proper growth, not just throughout your body, but your brain as well too, and making sure that your immune system is supported. So the most common symptoms that women come to me with, I've mentioned a few of them, but I'll go through the average, okay? So this is when I look back over, 17 years of case studies of working with so many clients, and I pare down what the most common symptoms are that come up in almost every single woman. These are them: tired, overweight, hair loss, brittle nails, acne, eczema, psoriasis, estrogen dominance, insulin resistance, leptin resistance, anxiety, depression, adrenal fatigue, thyroid issues, PMS, irregular menstrual cycles, heavy periods, infertility, PCOS, headaches, migraines, joint pain, digestive upset, autoimmune disorder, food sensitivities, fatty liver, increased cholesterol, diabetes, insomnia, cravings, irritability, no sex drive, no mojo or joy in life. This is what I refer to as surviving your days instead of thriving in your days. No one deserves to wake up and to live a life and to move through a body that feels like that. No one. And I am telling you, I have goosebumps as I'm saying this to you right now, because I know in every ounce and in every cell of my body that there is a different way of life and living that is waiting for you. You just have to choose. Today, are you going to be the person today that just wants to hear about the meal plan and fast forward and get the Coles notes? Or are you going to slow the hell down? Are you going to turn off everything else you're listening to right now? And are you actually going to pay attention? How bad do you want to feel good? How badly do you want to show up in your life in 100% form of who you authentically really are? To yourself, to your children, to your husband, to your friends? How many of you are done faking it? How many of you are done faking that you're feeling better and that you're feeling good and everything is all great, and that when on the inside you feel like you're crumbling? I'm your girl if you are fucking done, okay? We're going to teach you a new way. We are going to completely shift the entire paradigm of how we take care of our female bodies. And then you are going to take everything you learn about your body and you are going to pinky promise me and swear that you are going to take this information, you are going to help to educate the other women in your life. This is not information I want you to hold tight to your body. I want you to take it in and seep it in, and then I need you to trickle and share this, okay? Why do your adrenals matter so much? Why do I put so much emphasis? Why in the brand new hormone project that I'm starting next week do I have a 4-week Heal Your Adrenals protocol that's inside of it? Because this is where your ability and resiliency to manage stress is happening. This is the birthplace of it right here. These two glands sit on top of your kidneys, and they are producing cortisol, and they're producing adrenaline, and aldosterone as well too, which is helping to manage your blood pressure. I can tell you from years of owning a yoga studio and being in yoga classes, I could tell someone's adrenal health by watching them do sun salutations. If I saw them coming up and needing that moment and constantly stars were coming up in front of their face, they had to just pause. They couldn't move through it as quickly. They were having a difficult time regulating their blood pressure and that venous return of blood flowing back up towards the heart. That is a huge indication of adrenal fatigue right there. And until we balance our gut, which is that foundational health, and nourish these adrenal glands, true health, weight loss, weight management, hormonal balance, good sleep, improved immunity, your skin, hair, all of that will be a struggle. And you're going to feel like you're stuck in this vicious cycle. This is why diets don't work. Okay, it's why diets don't work, because when you're just told to do something, but you don't understand why you're doing it, you don't understand the reasoning of the time of day of eating this and not that, or why you should have more of this food at this time of your cycle versus this type of food. You're not going to care. You're just going to tell yourself that it's all about willpower and self-control. And then you'll self-deprecate and make fun of yourself in a way to add humor to why you feel like you're failing. And the failure is not you. The failure is that the education hasn't been there for you. So those big signs of adrenal fatigue is inability to cope with stress. It's insulin resistance. If you crave a ton of salty foods, that's a big indicator that the adrenals are exhausted because they're part of that sodium potassium pump that's regulating your blood pressure. If you are really dependent on coffee, you have to have the glass of wine. You're always looking for energy drinks. You're always looking for that something, sweet or has that like pick me up, not because you're craving the sweet, but because you need something to give you energy. Big indication. You can't get up out of bed in the morning. You have really light sensitive eyes and depend on sunglasses, even on dull days like today. You have higher energy in the evenings. You call yourself like a night owl, but you're ineffective in the morning. Your levels of fatigue are really high. You want to nap all day long and you have a weakened immune system. Those are some of the biggest signs and symptoms. So why should you care? Like, what do your adrenals even do for you? Well, they're supporting your thyroid. They're supporting the production of DHEA, which is your anti-aging hormone, and is also involved in the production of your sex hormones, especially during perimenopause and menopause. So women, if you want to set yourself up for healthy, balanced menopause and actually perimenopause moving into it, you need to start to take care of your adrenals in your teens, your 20s. You need to start right now. So even if you're like, well, crap, I'm already in it. I'm already through it. There is no late time. You still start now. This is how we're going to get rid of those hot flashes, reestablish your sleep patterns, reestablish your mood. The adrenals are part of supporting your sleep, supporting your immune system. And here's the most important thing when it comes to changing the shape of your body for those of you that are interested in losing weight. Adrenal health and nourishment are the key factor in allowing your body to feel safe enough to lose weight and preserve lean muscle tissue instead of catabolizing it as fuel. That's a huge one. So what do you do now that I've scared the crap out of you? What do you do to heal your adrenals and to manage your cortisol? The first thing that we do is we teach you how to manage your blood sugar, to make sure that all of your meals have a protein, fat, and fiber, that you're not going these massive periods of time without eating. The ketogenic diet has been the most prevalent one in the last 1 to 2 years. I don't use the ketogenic approach with women that I'm working with in my hormone balancing because the women that are coming to me are at such a state of confusion and overwhelm already from trying to follow all these different diet plans. They just actually need to be taught and learned about their body first and established a whole real food eating way. So we don't need to, I want you to make sure you're getting fat in all of your meals throughout the day, but we don't need to be consuming 70 to 75% of it in order to achieve our goals. So managing your blood sugar is huge. Making sure your body is hydrated. Hydrate yourself. Minimum of 2 liters of water every day. Minimum. 2 to 4 is what I love to see people consuming. Your smoothies, your elixirs, your water, your herbal teas, they all count towards it. One of the biggest things is I teach you in this protocol how to detoxify your liver from excess estrogen. So this is a big one so that we're moving the estrogen out so it's not accumulating. More than 90% of different reproductive cancers now, breast and ovarian, are actually estrogen dominant, meaning that the excess chemical estrogen in our environment is not only what's creating this excess in our body, but it's also what's fueling cancer in our system as well too. That is huge. Your sleep. If cortisol is high, it is physiologically impossible to produce melatonin. So you can take as much melatonin as you want. It might work in the beginning, but if we don't actually address the issue of the adrenal fatigue and exhaustion, restore your circadian rhythm and restore your cortisol levels, we're not going to get anywhere with helping to establish healthy lifelong sleep. Exercising in the morning is one of the best ways you can actually raise your cortisol, and also avoiding stimulation at night. So this can be tricky for some people. If you've always been training late in the evening, you're watching your Netflix show at night, you're scrolling on your phone, you're stimulated by the blue light, the house is really busy and noisy, you get all your work done late at night, you're actually working against your internal rhythm, and you're going to throw your cortisol curve off. Cortisol is going to stay high at night, which is actually also going to be increasing your body's levels of insulin as well too. So you're literally going to start to store fat while you're sleeping, as opposed to allowing your body to rest and digest and work in the opposite movement. When we restore those adrenals, you have more joy in your life because you're up for it. You have more sex in your life because you're up for it. Your libido starts to restore. So I talk a lot, and I go much deeper into this in the Hormone Project because it's all dependent on where you're at in the phases of your cycle. And even if you're not menstruating, we use the lunar phases, the lunar cycles, for you to be able to understand where you are at. So for instance, if you don't have a bleed anymore, you don't have a menstrual cycle anymore, you still have a reproductive cycle that's happening behind the scenes. The full moon period of time is typically when the body would be in that ovulatory state. A new moon is when you'd be menstruating. The waning or waning moon is in that luteal phase, and then the waxing moon is in the follicular. So when I'm working with women who no longer have a monthly bleed or have amenorrhea or amenorrhea, then what I use is the moon cycle to help to bring balance to their body. If you're hearing everything I've talked about with the adrenals and you're like, oh my God, she has a hidden camera in my house that is describing me to a T, there are a couple of supplements that I do recommend that are very safe to take, that you could start to implement while you're beginning this journey to help to take the edge off, and they're adaptogens. So if you felt like everything I was talking about with the adrenals was you and you were sitting there with your hand up the whole time, holy basil is my favorite adaptogenic herb to use. You can get it in a pill form. I really like the company Flora, or you can get it in a tincture form from St. Francis. If you have really jacked cortisol, rhodiola is very good in order to help to bring it down. It just kind of gives those adrenals a little bit of a hug to say, just relax. Don't be so overactive or overreactive, and just calm down. If you find your issue is you lie down at night and you've got hamster wheel and your head is just going like a $190 with everything that you think about that you didn't get done that you want to do, L-theanine is beautiful for that, to help to decrease anxiety so that you can get to sleep. Beginning to detox from your estrogen dominance. So once we've established a better system in your gut, once we're taking care of the adrenals, and those really happen together. So in the beginning of the Hormone Project, what I actually do is get you to a place where we're already starting to nudge the liver in the right direction. We're decreasing alcohol. This is huge because alcohol raises your bad estrogen by almost 30%. And so every drink you have, if you have autoimmune illness, oh goodness, you really have to stop drinking so much. It is just like, honestly, it's like you're saying to your body and the parts that aren't working well, fuck you. I don't care about you. You know, have a drink, like numb it out, just like take the edge off. And it takes longer and longer for your body to recover. So if you are somebody that's dealing with Hashimoto's, if you have rheumatoid arthritis, if you have an autoimmune condition that's going on in your body, reducing your alcohol, coming off of it for a lengthy period of time, a couple of months, is going to be one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself, because it's going to lower our bad estrogen. Caffeine is another one. I have tons of colleagues who are like, no, they can still have caffeine. Don't take it away. Add butter into it. Add, MCT oil. Listen, at one point, we could probably get you to do that and you'd be okay. But if you're coming to me because you have estrogen dominance, you have an autoimmune issue that's going on, your adrenals are shot and burnt out, your cortisol's all over the place, you can't lose weight, you can't sleep, we take the caffeine out for a period of time. I introduce you to beautiful elixirs. I post them all over Instagram. They're on our blog. There's lots of recipes that are available. But cleansing the liver is huge. We change out, I teach you how to change out things like your plastics, your body care, even your feminine care products. So moving away from bleach dioxides in your tampons and your pads. And then there's 2 supplements that are my absolute favorite for this for women. Estro Smart by Lorna Vanderhaeg. Pretty much every client I work with that is a woman is on this because of the environmental levels of estrogen that you just aren't even aware that are out there that are affecting and impacting your body every day. The second one is a tincture, and it's from St. Francis, and it is called Liver Hepato DR. And this is beautiful, especially in the first couple of months on a daily basis, to really be helping your liver. And, so many people are like, why do you talk so much about the liver? What is the big deal? It has over 500 daily jobs and functions. But for me, working with you, the main reason is this is where you're metabolizing your hormones. Like I said earlier, especially the excess estrogens. So this is huge. And how you might know that you have congestion in your liver, here's some of the most common signs and symptoms. And you'll notice that these lay over top of some of the signs and symptoms I've already talked about. But these ones are most specific to your liver. Acne, congestion, constipation, irritability, anxiety, arthritis, autoimmune conditions, asthma, circles under your eyes, bad breath, burping, cravings, depression, diarrhea, digestive upset, eczema, excessive sweating, excessive weight, fatigue, and food sensitivities. I am a huge lover of also incorporating energetic work into everything we do. So I don't believe that the most successful programs are only focused on teaching you what you're eating and what you're not eating, your supplements and your movement. There has to be a spiritual and a mental emotional connection to that as well. So whether it's affirmations that you use, if it is mantras that you say to yourself, if it's a motivational card that you pull every day, if it's a podcast that you're listening to, if it's meditation that you do, whatever it is, we want to make sure that we are loving on your body every step of the way. So when I talk about certain foods, in the beginning, there's really 6 foods that we look to add in to help to balance your body. And there's 6 foods that I'd recommend for you to pull out. So you can't do everything all at once. You just absolutely can't. This is why it's, when I teach these things, it's over the course of a few months. It's honestly like you're going back to school, but you are the subject and your body is the subject. So the foods that I would recommend that you really work on taking out are some of the obvious ones: sugar, caffeine, alcohol, gluten and refined carbohydrates, dairy, and hydrogenated trans fats. The more balancing foods for your body are going to be healthy fats, avocados, nuts, seeds, oils, probiotics, bone broth, collagen. Cruciferous vegetables for women is huge because they contain indole-3 carbinol, which is massive for detoxifying excess harmful estrogen out of your bodies. And dark leafy greens are huge as well, too. We're almost through these. So yes, and so some of you are asking. So this is, like I said, it's a lot of information to take in. What I love so much of being able to teach this in the incremental weeks as we go forward is that 1 week at a time. Like week 1, when I teach you in the Hormone Project, it is just about digestion and inflammation. Week 2 is all about estrogen dominance and liver cleansing, setting you up on a protocol so each day you're doing a little bit to reduce your exposure. full body head to toe skincare, hair care, makeup, feminine products, showing you DIYs of how to actually make these products on your own, cut down on your cost, and how every day you can be detoxing your body's largest organ. The adrenal thyroid connection. So first it's establishing healing your adrenals, managing your high cortisol, your anxiety, and your excess stress. Then it's about teaching you the actual blood work I want you to get done, the thyroid paneling, the tests that you need to be asking for, and the symptoms you need to understand and why. Your hair falling out, you're constipated, no sex drive, you can't lose weight, you're cold all the time. These are big ones. Understanding your hunger and your satiation hormones, a whole night spent purely on leptin and ghrelin so that you can really dive deeper into understanding insulin resistance and becoming a master of your own blood sugar. If all you did is this right here, manage your blood sugar, you've just reduced your risk of ever getting diabetes. You've cut down your risk as a woman of having heart disease and cardiovascular issues, as well as polycystic ovarian syndrome, simply by managing your blood sugar. We talk a lot about exercise and full body movement. What type, how often, how intense. I lay out a 70-day calendar for you of movement with videos so you know exactly what you're doing, how you're doing it, the intensity. I show modifiers and everything. I also talk about the key times of day to be exercising so that you can hit your goals and feel successful without killing yourself and exhausting your adrenals. I do a whole night about budgeting and meal planning, working around you and your family's schedule and calendar so that you can stay on target to hit your health and your body goals. And then the art of simplicity, how you can create your own personal strategies moving forward. Brand new in this will be the fifth time that I'm running into the Hormone Project. This is the last one of the year that I'm running, and I've added in a whole massive new component. So this time we are going to be cycle syncing every single month so you understand the 4 phases of your body. Even women who no longer menstruate are going to be cycle syncing so that you can understand what's going on in your ovulatory phase, your menstrual phase, your luteal phase, and your follicular phase. I'm going to teach you certain types of exercise you shouldn't be doing in each phase. We're going to open up every class with a lunar and moon cycle practice to help to get you into the rhythm of that. Also about certain foods that you shouldn't be eating and how you pair and sync up, activity, creation in your business, what you're doing in your life along with that. Like I said, weekly lunar practices and insights on how to utilize your moon cycle to strengthen your intuition, your hormonal story, and to plan out your next big project and your leaps in life. Brand new 3 customized meal plans and recipes that are broken down into 3 new phases that I've custom created. So this is all based on cleansing, supporting, and healing your liver. We do a 2-week protocol. We do a 4-week protocol for your gut and a 4-week protocol for your adrenals. I've also created a brand new customized supplement regime. I give you the foundationals and then I give you the optionals. I'm also going to teach you the most cost-effective way to incorporate these into your life and tell you for exactly how long I want you to stay on them. Some are lifers and some are just for a period of time where we're working on restoring balance. New weekly self-care inspirations as well too. The 70-day movement calendar is brand new. I also give you a full list of your blood work that I would like you to be requesting from your physician. And this time around, I'm doing optional Dutch hormone testing. So this tells me not only all about your hormones, but your cortisol curve and how you're metabolizing your hormones. This test for me is like the missing link in a woman's body when she feels like she's had everything else done and nothing seems to be responding. In this, the bonuses that you get 2 private coaching calls with me, where in one of them, I'm going to fully analyze your blood work. I'm going to break down exactly what your body is telling us, what's going on, and some of the things that you as an individual need to start to take on to start to move from where you are now to where you want to go moving forward and how you want to feel. I also have my colleague, Dr. Sachin Patel, coming to do a VIP night for the women in the Hormone Project at my home. He is the founder of the Living Proof Institute. He is a functionally integrative medicine doctor, and 2 hours of pure Q&A based on the hormones here in my home. Plus, you're also getting your VIP ticket to my annual Live Ignite Your Life event, where I bring over 200 women together. If you heard about our event last year, women are still talking about it. Epic, unbelievable, life-changing. You get that. You also get the e-copies of both my books, The Simplicity Project and The Simplicity Kitchen. You're getting almost 200 recipes in this program. Plus, I'm giving everyone in the Hormone Project my Rock Solid Beauty 21-day program for free with additional recipes and meal planning inside of it. So there is a lot that is involved in it. And again, like I said, the reason that I understand what is going on, I know the slides weren't actually switching. So I talked the whole time. I'm going to actually send you guys the slideshow. We'll do that and hook that up in the email for you. You just got to roll with it, guys. When you're running an online business, I mean, here's the beautiful thing is we have access to hundreds of you at a time. And then the downside of it is that technology is not always on your side. So you just do what you can do. So you've heard all the information. You can go back and look through the slideshow. What I'd actually recommend is that you're going to get way more from this from actually sitting back and listening to the recording again. I want to open this up now so that I can be here to answer any questions that you may have. So any questions that you may have about anything that I just talked about? I know we've got our delay, which works for me because I can drink water. You're all going to get the recording of this. Question, is holy basil tea sufficient or do you need a tincture supplement to see results? Yes, so the tea is great to have. I actually love for people to drink this in the evening if they have a difficult time winding down, but to get the therapeutic benefits of reducing your cortisol and supporting, you 100% need to take it in a supplemental form, for sure. Nuts and legumes and seeds, and they've been a staple of mine. But the AIP says no. So I'm not, when you are following an autoimmune paleo approach, in the beginning phases, there are no nuts and no legumes, and no seeds at all. So we work at replacing those foods for anybody who's on an AIP protocol with other healthy sources of fats and proteins. This is also where the challenge can be sometimes for people who are plant-based, who are vegetarian or who are vegan. So it's working with the individual's body to make sure that their meal plan is in sync with what their body can have. So the legumes, for a lot of people, I pull out in general. A lot of people have a difficult time with lectins and the phytic acid that is in there as well too. But there are definitely suggestions that we can create and make in place of that. Water, which is best to drink? Tap, spring, reverse osmosis. So spring water is always going to be the best. It's just whether or not it's accessible. So you can go to findaspring.ca and it'll list all the spring reserves. You can also, Cedar Springs is a company that delivers to your home. I have reverse osmosis in my house and we've put the whole system through our house, and then I'll add sea salt and I have cell food that you can add in to remineralize. But to be honest with you, the amount of minerals that we get in our diet and the food that we're eating, I'm not too concerned about the RO not having the minerals in it. Can you suggest good quality collagen? So I have two that are my favorite. I love Vital Proteins, which you do have to order from the States. We'll actually be doing an order of this product leading into when Sachin Patel is coming to my home. And I should let you know for that VIP event as well, if you don't live nearby, we are going to be live streaming the whole thing for you. And we'll post the recording in our private Facebook group for the Hormone Project as well. Vital Proteins and Great Lakes. Those are my two favorite. Does this work if you have a traumatic brain injury? I have some of the symptoms. My body reacts different now to everything. So having a traumatic brain injury, there is a level of chronic systemic inflammation that is going on. So for somebody like you with the brain injury, you are a candidate where I would actually up the fat content and keep the carbohydrate content slightly lower for your body to work towards supporting and nourishing you on a neurological level. Otherwise, any of the other things that are involved in the program is going to be excellent for you because having a cleaner, clearer liver is going to help with the healing process. When there is trauma, it doesn't matter what area of the body, but that that is taking a toll on your adrenals, on your nervous system, and on your stress response as well too. So the adrenal protocol is going to nourish that, and then the gut is always going to be at the forefront, no matter what has happened in the body in the past or what's currently being managed now. But I would definitely have you on a slightly higher fat routine than I would on the carbohydrates for sure. Any other questions? Right? No silly questions here. Just a really great opportunity to maybe have some of your cues answered. I may not know the answer to all of them, but I will definitely do my best. And I would build on that as well too, Sandy, saying that I'm reading the lower part saying that these have been a staple of yours, consuming lots of nuts and seeds and legumes. Most definitely your body needs to have a change and a shift from that 100%. You know, one of the ways that we create food sensitivities in our body is by over consuming the same thing. And if your body has been so busy at working and breaking down those foods time and time again, it is really busying up all the energy that your body could be using to work at healing your Hashimoto's. Follow up to your water info. What about alkaline? Oh yeah, Santivia. Santivia is a fantastic filtration system. You can get the sticks that go into your water bottles. You can get the countertop one. We actually use all Santivia's filters on our shower heads in the house as well too. I have no gallbladder. Is there anything I should be taking? Absolutely. And they should be telling you this when you have your gallbladder removed. When you don't have a gallbladder, so in about 3 to 5 years of having it removed, your body will become almost completely mineral deficient. And so you need to be taking a digestive enzyme that has bile and pancreatin every day, definitely before lunch and dinner. Those typically tend to be the meals that get a little bit more challenging for us to digest and break down with. So 100% you would be on a digestive enzyme right from day one and would work through that throughout the rest of the program. What would be the best food supplement when working day and night shifts? I'm on my first night shift. I'm awake for up to 28 hours without sleep, and my digestion is horrible. So shift workers are fantastic candidates for introducing a bit of intermittent fasting, meaning that we would shorten the window that you are eating, taking the load off the body digestively. That's one approach that I can take. The other would be on those evenings, if you find your digestion is totally off, having easier to digest foods. So the first thing would be bone broth in a thermos that you can sip. The second thing would be having really fantastic smoothies that you can incorporate into your day in your body. Those are quick and easy that you are able to sip on. It doesn't require, you can make it the night before, have it in the fridge. There might also be some bars, right? So I like Genuine Health is a good company. They've got a good quality fermented plant-based protein bar that you could be using. Primal Kitchen has collagen-based bars that you can get if you can't do the legumes or the nuts and the seeds. So there are a lot of different products that are out there now. I would watch if your digestion is really bad. It may not feel good on your body to do like a raw salad or to do a lot of raw veggies, which are things we tend to gravitate to when we're trying to stay healthy. Maybe steamed or roasted vegetables might be better, and doing that type of thing for yourself. But if you're noticing that when you're awake for that period of time, less is more when it comes to your food, stay super hydrated, stay away from the stimulants, and look to see where you can jam pack the nutrients in. Smoothies, bone broth, nut or seed butter off the spoon if you're able to digest and handle that. Some roasted veggies, get a good source of fat that's in there as well too. So some sliced avocado sprinkled with some hemp seed, drizzled with a little bit of pumpkin seed oil and some sea salt. Those would be some easier things. And avoid heavy stuff. Like I wouldn't be doing pastas or bread-based wrapped or sandwiches or a bagel or those types of things. It's just going to throw your body for a 160 or 180. All right, couple more minutes for questions here. And then supplementing wise, Jen, for your night shifts, I would definitely take some of the adrenal support. So I would do the holy basil for you to help to your body to better manage that. Your circadian rhythm is thrown totally off. And I do talk about this a lot throughout the Hormone Project, especially when we get into the 2-part series within the 10 weeks about the adrenal and the thyroid, is that there is a different parameter. And when we would do your private call, your first one, that's where I really get the insight into what's going going on in your individual life. And that's where I can give you my, prescription based on what the plan is of what I want you to switch out for your schedule. Because we've got to establish a different type of rhythm in your body so that we are reducing the harmful effects of stress. And being a shift worker actually makes you more susceptible to estrogen dominance because things are thrown out of whack. So I teach a lot about that in the program as well too. Is going vegan a healthier approach? Oh, that's like opening Pandora's box. I would say, so here's Shauna's question. Is going vegan a healthier approach for overall health? It really all depends on the person we are talking about and what's going on. I have been vegan in the past. I was raw vegan for a period of time. I was very strict vegetarian. I was pescatarian. Now I'm just a balanced, healthy eater. I will tell you from a hormonal perspective, I have found it very challenging for someone to go vegan and to stay feeling really vital and optimal over the long period of time. So in the beginning, it might work well for some people to maybe reduce some of the prostaglandins or inflammation that's going on in their body. It all depends on the system. If we're dealing with somebody like what Sandy was saying with Hashimoto's, vegan and trying to micromanage an autoimmune illness may not necessarily be the best approach. Do you have to eat animal products? You don't necessarily have to chew it, but definitely things like the bone broth, the collagen, getting it in different creative ways, I think will be healthier for the body moving forward. So I am definitely not somebody that's like, I want you to go all paleo, I want you to go all vegan. It's about finding, as my friend Sam says, this qualitarian type lifestyle and figuring out the best balance for your body somewhere in between. And that again is where having the private call comes in really handy, especially too if you have previous blood work and we're talking about your health history and I'm able to take a look at what your body's been doing, what your rhythm has been over the years. I can answer that better for you moving forward. Is the Hormone Project meal plan general for everyone, or does it have options depending on your main goals and needs? So there's 3 specific meal plans. The first is focused on getting you to in that place of helping to detoxify the liver. The second meal plan is a 4-week phase that focuses on pure adrenal management. The latter is reestablishing and making sure that we've set your gut up on that healthy healing protocol to move forward. All 3 steps are focusing on gut healing all the way through. If, for instance, I'm working with someone like you, Sandy, who has these issues going on, we would review the meal plan. We would identify any of maybe the red markers that may be a bit of an inflammatory response for you, and we would simply modify and replace them. You also have the opportunity. I've really stepped away from saying to people, you have to follow the meal plan 100% as it's written out. I give you a week-long sample plan for each of the protocols. Then you have charts and lists. Here's your healthy fats, here's your proteins, here's your fiber, here's your carbohydrates, here's all of this. Now then you're able to go and pick and choose from the variety of the recipes as well too, because if it's too complicated and too hard, it's going to be too challenging to stick with. And it's also, I'm a mom, I'm cooking for my children and my husband, and I get it. It's got to be a way to be able to also incorporate your family into this. I'm perimenopausal. Can you suggest how to start taking control of it now, like hot flashes, missing cycles? So Jen, this is a big one because I don't know what your health history has been leading up to it, why you're at a place of missing cycles and having hot flashes. Perimenopause goes for about 15 years. 8 to 15 years in a woman's body. And so making sure that you are putting sleep as a priority, taking care of your adrenals, that you are optimizing the food that's going into your body, that you're not overstressing yourself with work and with exercise, and to understand how to manage or mitigate the hot flashes, to understand how to establish a rhythm within the dysrhythm of what your cycle becomes when you're in perimenopause. You have to understand it all the way from the beginning to the end. So it's natural to have missed cycles. That is the process of perimenopause. Little by little, your brain, your body, your adrenals and your ovaries are producing less and less because your body is moving out of that cycle. The problem is that This is a natural process that we're going through, but some of the symptoms may not be natural, like the insane hot flashes. If you're having crazy hot flashes, your adrenals are fatigued and out of balance. We need to bring harmony back in there. Holy basil would be a beautiful way to start to do that for yourself on a really gentle level, making sure you're days before a bleed might actually occur. Yeah, thanks, Sandy. It is a friggin' awesome program. And it's why, you know, I don't know how many of you follow me otherwise, but why I've taken a sabbatical. I've retired from private practice. I'm only working with people who are part of the Hormone Project now because I want to be able to have the energy and the time to put into these women, because there's a lot of stuff that surfaces when we go through this course. This is not a weight loss challenge, a body transformation challenge. This is like, I want you to get your life back challenge. It isn't even a challenge. This is like, you are back in school. You know, every week we come together. Every week there's a recording. Like, your workbook is in depth. There's so much information that comes out of it because I want you to learn and understand. I want Jennifer to know how to take care of her perimenopausal moving forward, so that in menopause, she doesn't feel like she's losing her mind and she's not up all night with hot flashes. They don't come on when she's at work during the day. I want Shauna to be able to know the best system for her body. I want Sandy's gut to be able to heal so that her thyroid can start to stabilize and we can bring her antibodies level down so that she can actually feel like she is living her life as opposed to her life just pulling her along for the ride. I want Nita to be able to have a supported gallbladder and liver, because without having that gallbladder, her liver is actually not working to its full capacity. So we need to set the things in place to help to take that over so her body can best metabolize her hormones. Her digestion is where it needs to be. The bowels are functioning optimally, and she's going to feel good always and forever. So this is the reason why. All of these. So if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to leave it at that for today. We're about 1:15, which is fantastic. I really love interacting with all of you. Feel free to post onto my Facebook page as well too. Hi, Jen, having one heck of a time. Keeps throwing me into YouTube. Don't worry, Chris. We will post it and the recording will be up and available. As long as you guys registered for it, you're going to get the recording. We had some tech issues on our end too. It is all good, all deliverable. Yes, Amy, imagine if this was the healthcare info everyone was actually getting. This is what I am doing. This is going to be the current healthcare model. I promise you it is. We are going to shake it up. And you guys are all going to be part of it, because as soon as you say yes to yourself and you say yes to a program like this, you are saying yes to up-leveling your education, and you're going to inspire your daughters and your girlfriends and your sisters and your mom and the woman that you see standing in the grocery store struggling, staring at the supplement bottles, not knowing what to do, the woman that's at the gym that you see on the treadmill every single day who's yet to pick up a weight. You are going to be part of this mission with me, and we're all going to do it together. So I'm very excited. The next round starts on Monday. This is the last one that I am running this year. We have 5 spots left for women to come into this program. If you have any other questions, please feel free to email me. You'll get our email address once you receive the webinar recording. We can go from there. And the last thing I want to say is, if any of you live up in the Barrie Aurelia area, tonight I am teaching this live and in person. We are doing 40 minutes of pure Q&A. You can ask whatever questions you have. It's at Nourish Yoga Studio in Aurelia. It's on my social media pages. I'm also going to be in Keswick on Thursday night at Anchor CrossFit Yoga. 6:30 p.m. I am doing a 90-minute hormone intensive. Bring your girlfriends, bring as many people as you can. Come and hear this in person. Ask me the questions that you have. These seminars thrive not from me doing a PowerPoint for you guys, okay? And this is like, the universe is just telling me the reason why you couldn't see the slides, because it's like, stop doing the fucking PowerPoint. That's not where the power and the information is. We need to have different conversations as women together. This is what we need to do, okay? This is why I love doing the in-person stuff. I want to meet you, I want to talk to you, and I want to be able to actually make eye contact with you and have an interaction that gets you to understand it on a deeper level. So this Thursday night in Keswick, join me, 6:30 p.m., whatever you have going on, cancel it. Someone else can take the kids to their practice and to their sports. You'll be there when you're feeling better next time. Meet me there this week. We'll repost it. It's out on social media. Melanie, you sign up for the project, yes, to the website. I think Vanessa already linked it up in here, but we'll also, if you want to go today to make sure you get one of the 5 spots, jenpike.com, Hormone Project, you can go on, you can sign up right there. Otherwise, you will get the link directly in the email that we are going to send out to you. Have an awesome rest of your day. I really look forward to meeting many of you along this journey. And please feel free when you get the recording. You may post this on social media. You may forward this and email this to any other woman in your life. And again, we will attach the PowerPoint just in case you want to see it. Have an awesome day.